Folks, the condo board is not paying for that. I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for condos across the GTA for week ending April 10th, 2024. If you've not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. Let me tell you what happened and why the condo board isn't paying for this thing. I was speaking with a couple. They are planning to sell their condo. We're talking about the sale of their condo. But they shared with me a situation that happened to them about a year prior. It was winter time. They were out late at night enjoying the evening. They come home to their condo apartment and it's ice cold. Turns out the furnace, their HVAC system, the furnace in their condo had broken down. It wasn't working. They tried frantically to make a few calls. Can't get a hold of anybody at that time. It was late. So they left, slept over at one of their parents' home, and the next day they're going to deal with this. Right away they get management, the property manager on the phone. Property manager goes and has a look at it and says, yeah, you should get a specialist here that deals with these things. And that's what they did. And then they figured out that the furnace really needed to be replaced. It was older and time to go out with the old, in with the new. But the condo board was not paying for that. That was left up to the homeowners, the people who own the condo, to pay for the cost of a new furnace system or an HVAC system to be put in there. And they were surprised, and that's why they were telling me this story. They were surprised. They said that the condo board twice a year would come. They'd send somebody to kind of change the filter and have a look at it. And we just always thought if we needed anything, any repairs to this, we just call property management. But it wasn't the case. Now that it broke down, it was up to them to pay for the new furnace. And I think there's a lot of condo owners out there that are under that impression that if something happens to their HVAC system that's in their unit, that the condo board is going to pay for that. And that's not the case. Now, there are situations where, yes, the condo board is fully responsible for that and will deal with any issues you have. But the majority, you're responsible. You as the condo owner are going to pay for the repairs to any of these features inside your unit, any of the HVAC system. And it's not inexpensive. It could cost $3,000 to $7,000 to put in one of these HVAC systems. So it's not inexpensive, and that caught the couple I was dealing with by surprise. And I just thought, let me share this story with you because you may not know, but the condo you're living in, something breaks in that furnace, you're going to be paying in most situations. Now, how do you know? Look, you could look up the condo declaration. It may be clear in there, it may be not, but your property manager will know for sure. Make a phone call to your property manager, ask. If you're thinking of buying a condo and you want to know, call the property manager. Find out, hey, how do we deal with this situation if the furnace breaks down? Who's responsible? They'll tell you, they know because they live this every single day. If you think this video can help somebody please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Up here, there's a link to my calendar. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the condo numbers. Folks, at the end of this video, check out this awesome studio apartment in one of the best locations in downtown Toronto. We're taking a look at the condo market today, condos for the GTA, but we're going to be splitting it down with City of Toronto condos, York Region condos, and those prices seem to be trending upwards. And then we have condos in Peel Region, a little bit harder to figure out what's happening with those prices there. So let's get started. City of Toronto, condo apartments, not condo townhouses. 255 were sold for week ending April the 10th. Now, sales are trending up and sales are much higher than what they were the previous week. I will remind everybody what I said in last week's video. For week ending April the 3rd, well, the Easter long weekend was in there, and as we often see in most long weekends, sales tend to drop during the long weekend. And as I said, look, it's bounced back. So now we're sitting at 255 sales. Those are the most sales, up by 2 from the previous record that we had. Only 2, but still, it's 2. The highest sales we've had in a single week this year so far. 15 of those sold at $1 million or more. And average sold price is the highest we've seen this year so far at $769,000. Overall, average prices for condos are trending upwards. So 769 is 3% higher than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is no change from where we were this time a year ago. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. Median and average price are trending upwards. 255 were sold. 31% sold at list price or more. So around a third is the way it's been over the last 4 weeks or so. Actually, if we go back and we skip this one crazy week in here, around a third, close to 30% is how it's been over the last 2.5 months actually. Listings, a whole bunch were listed. 843 condo apartments were listed in the city of Toronto. Active listings is increasing, and months of inventory down from the previous week, but we expected that. Remember, sales the previous week, being the Easter long weekend, were really low. Because of that, months of inventory shot up, but it wasn't, really indicative of what the market's actually doing. And it's come back down into kind of where we've been for a good part of this year. 3.4 is pretty similar to what we've been seeing for the last 2.5 months. So we're sitting at the bottom end of a balanced market, yet prices are trending upwards. That's the pattern that we've been seeing. But that's the whole city of Toronto. Let's look a little bit closer at different parts. We've got Toronto here broken down into 9 sections. All of Toronto for condos is 3.4 months of inventory. Scarborough, 2.9 months of inventory. East York, Riverdale, 2 months of inventory, so it's a little bit more competitive. Etobicoke, lots of condos get sold in Etobicoke, 2.6 months of inventory. If you look at the center here, uptown, midtown, downtown, which is the majority of our condo sales, tells a bit of a different story. So uptown, it's 3.2 months of inventory. Midtown, 3.4 months of inventory. The average price in Midtown is $1,024,000. There were 33 condos sold for an average price of $1,024,000. Right downtown, the average price is $763,000. 76 were sold, but active listings, 3,784 available listings, only 76 were sold. That's why months of inventory sitting at 4.4. For most areas, months of inventory did come down over the previous week, but that's condos for the whole of the city of Toronto. Let's look at York Region condos. Kind of like most areas, sales did jump up from the previous week. So 55 condos were sold. No condos sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price is $693,000. $693,000 is 4% lower year over year. The median price is 3% higher. And 55 we said were sold, about close to a third, 31% sold at list price or more. And if you look back over the last 4 or 5 weeks or so, around the 30s is what we've been selling. Around a third are selling at list price or more. 135 were listed, and months of inventory down quite a bit from the previous week. But remember what I said about Easter weekend? That was the previous week. So we're sitting at 2.5 months of inventory, and it's kind of in line to where we've been for a good part of this year so far. Peel Region condos, 46 condos were sold, 2 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price, $623,000. Now, Peel region, it's kind of tricky to figure out what's happening here. But overall, over the course of this year, I would say overall, prices are trending up. But it's not so apparent when you kind of look at it a little bit closer on a weekly basis. You go up, you go down. But overall, I think they're trending up. 623 is 5% lower than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 1% higher. And even the dotted line here, the 4-week moving average, kind of shows prices trending up. Although maybe over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, they're kind of averaging out to being flat. 46 were sold, a third, 33% selling at list price or more. So it seems to be Toronto, York region, Peel, about a third or so are selling at list price or more. That's pretty similar. Listings are up almost in every area when we're looking at condos. 127 condos were listed and months of inventory sitting at 2.7. That's for Peel region condo. So the top end of a seller's market, bottom end of a balanced market. A quick summary, I would say, just because of the amount of condos that are available for sale and the way prices are going, you know, prices in a lot of areas for condos are trending upwards. So you're going to see either a slight seller's market. I know you don't want to hear that word, but you may hear a seller's market. Well, you don't want to hear it if you're buying, but if you're selling, you're pretty excited about that. Top end of a seller's market, bottom end of a balanced market. City of Toronto overall is more of a balanced market, but that's what you're going to get out there when you're dealing with condos. Now check out the awesome studio apartment right now. This chic studio is located in one of the trendiest buildings in the city. Have a look.